Their D skate pretty well. McCabe's a good skater. Tanev gets around fine. You know,
But
like
I don't see the mobility
Mhm.
or the puck movement like
yeah.
I see.
But again, I think that is a style choice.
I total styles choice.
You know, like
straight lines.
Yep, they want to be different than they've been. You know, the Klingberg options haven't worked for them. So yeah, I do think this is something that they don't want to be that. They think that
Yeah.
that's going to lead to risks and in the postseason to chances against. And then it's like, hey, can Kochetkov win them a playoff series?
Stay in your lane. That way, when you lose the puck, you can still block it.
Yep.
That's what I see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so they're different. They're definitely different in that way. But yeah, the Canes move it really well. They skate well.
You mentioned McCabe there when you're talking about their skating.
Say it.
I just miss him desperately.
So bad.
And I don't think if you have McCabe out there, you're not letting in 4 or 5 goals, whatever, like that happens with him in the lineup. But just the way everybody's slotted, it feels like Ruben is just searching for anything
They
last
had
night.
Riley and Tanev, and then it was like, what else we
Like,
got?
For Riley, it's like you put him with Tanev, and Tanev, did he have his worst game of the year last night?
I don't know. They were all bad.
-2, I think.
Yeah, he was like, he's been a plus player all year.
Yeah.
They put him with Riley, no chemistry. He's minus. Svechnikov puts him in the blender behind the net to set up the stall goal in front. Like, it's just not. I tend to agree that they're not the best puck moving decor, but when they do have McCabe, I think it is a pretty good decor, and I think it's one that you can win with.
Oh, they've won and
they've been
they've
good
shut
this
teams
year.
down and they've blocked their shots, but
Timmins
there's not a ton of creativity back there is my biggest
fair.
point.
That's fair.
And I watched this blue line and I saw for 50 minutes nothing but paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different, but that's playing the scoreboard to me, because I think if the Leafs win that game, you say that decor's all, they're taking risks, they're up the ice, they're too active, so.
Yeah, it's fair. But McCabe, they need him back.
Yes.
They're going to have to find ways to probably at the end of the day.
Would you think they'll
win
add someone who's more active, mobile?
I don't know if there's time or the ability to.
Or the interest?
In a perfect world, I think they'd like to free it up a little bit. And maybe they're just
Probably grab
maybe
one more D.
at best you can hope that Morgan Riley gets back to where he was 2 springs ago against Tampa Bay.
Someone tweeted at us the points per game of defensemen over the past decade, and Riley's, of course, right up there. So,
Yeah. Just quickly before we move on, like you mentioned about the creativity and the puck moving stuff, I think Timmins early in the year was giving a lot of that to them in terms of being able to snap it out on your third pair and being a bit. But I think he was one of their only even or plus guys last night, so maybe it's the wrong time to pick on him. But the play has gone south a little bit for him, where that's a spot where it's kind of back to maybe looking for somebody else to play that time. But anyways.
I was just going to mention, how about old scratch and score?
Yeah.
Robertson comes out of the press box and shoots it in the net again. It's like clockwork.
I know.
The first game he comes out of the press box.
No issues there.
Yeah.
No issues there.
He's got a scratch. If he's still on the team at the playoffs, which seems somewhat unlikely, but if he is, he's got to sit game 6 and then come back game 7.
Yeah.
That is you have to do that. There's no
You have an auto goal.
if you don't, the Leafs score 1 goal every game 7.
Yeah.
He's already down to a desperate game 6 or game 7 for the Leafs.
Start
don't think-
Robertson in game 7 is where we're at.
You don't think, regardless of who they play in the first round, it's going 7 games? You got to be crazy. I mean, the only time they won was 6. So.
Joseph Wall, his worst game of the year.
Yes. Did you think he was bad?
Yeah.
Yeah. That Jackson Blake goal,
Which is,
not great.
come on, it's like, this is the way the hockey gods work. It's not going to be great every game.
No. Good players have bad days. I also think this is how sample sizes work. Did you believe that Joseph Woll was the best goalie in the league or one of the 5 best in the league? Probably not. You might have thought he was good, top 15, something like that. This is the sort of game that brings him back. He's a 912 save percentage now. I think he's a 912 guy. I could see it. But he was never a 925 guy or whatever the numbers were for a while. So it's just coming back to earth a little bit. Now, Sorokin and the Islanders, they played him 300 games in a row. He looks bad. It happens to goalies who play too much.
But he goes in last night to everyone's point and gets was it Was it his shutout against
Yeah,
Vegas?
yeah. No, he
Right?
Sorokin
4-0.
himself was good, but his years
Islanders
were bad because
go
they've been
in-
playing too much.
Play one of the best teams in the. So it happens, right?
It's dumb league.
It just happens.
The point is, should they go with Hill to be on?
Well, this kind of
On
backs
Saturday.
up to Sammy's point. I think Sammy was the only one. I didn't necessarily agree with Sammy, but is hindsight 2020 here? Should they have had Hillbilly?
Yes, yes. It's stuck in his brain, and
just
we're gonna
cannot
get it
get
all
over
the time
that.
now.
Cletus.
The Hill the
Cletus
Beast.
is a better name.
Cletus.
Should
Should
Hillbilly
Cletus go?
Grove have played Thursday night?
It's easy to say he should have.
Yeah.
Because he had his worst game of the year. I do think this is something that's going to kind of follow Wall around, no? Where there's worry with the injury, there's worry with the lack of play, and I'm guilty of it. We talked about it a little bit on Leafs Talk last night, but you automatically think, is he tired? Is that why he played like that?
Yeah.
And I think you have to
He
kind of
can't be
fight that.
tired.
Well, I mean,
I know he's played 11 out of 14, I
Yeah,
think.
He's played 5 times in 10 days.
Okay, but he's also on pace to play 40 games this season. So in the big picture, he's not tired. What he is last
Kipper, he's
night,
4 off his career high for starts.
I
man.
know. And to
No.
my point, what he is now is mentally stretched in a stretch that he's got no experience in the past on.
Yeah, and this is where you get it. But I still think if you're set to run a mile, if you run 100 meters in the middle of it sprinting, you're going to be tired after that sprint. Just because the whole thing's
unless
not that
you,
hard.
everybody's telling you just run a mile, but you're like, no, I can run 2, I can run 4, I'll run 10. Don't be that guy that says, okay, you tell me you're going to run a mile, I'll just run a mile.
Yeah.
That guy has an amazing opportunity right now,
Mhm.
and he should be feeling like, I don't want to come out.
Yeah.
So I just think that it's a new experience for him, and it's a stretch that he's never had before, and now it's just managing it for him
He
and
was
learning how to manage it.
Yeah, he was borderline abrasive at the idea that he didn't play well. He said, "Yeah, I didn't play well. And what do you want me to do? I didn't."
And I love he has
Yeah.
come back tomorrow
Yeah,
against
it's like I
a
wasn't
hungry Vancouver Canuck team that's got the
Played pretty
us-
good against Washington.
us against the world mentality coming in.
Their Super Bowl, Vancouver Super Bowl playing against the Leafs.
You're going to get a good Canucks performance.
So that's
They played tonight in
How-
Carolina, second half of back-to-back tomorrow night.
pretty close
Oh,
feeling of losing game 1
Interesting.
in the Stanley Cup playoffs and needing to come back 48 hours later and
Mhm.
tying up the series. That's what Wall should be feeling Saturday night.
Well,
Hey.
yeah, go ahead.
I do think you have to go with them. Let's hear the coach.
Yeah.
Clip 4 on Wall.
Well, he's probably wants him back, but he's played some real good hockey for us. He made some real good saves tonight too. So, that's. I'm sure he wants a couple goals back, but he's been battling for us and playing well.
Yeah, how do you think he's handled the increased workload?
Well, I
as of
think he's
late?
been fine with it. I don't see him getting tired or anything like that. He wants the net, so he's done a good job.
Good stuff. I think we get to break and get to our calls.
Well,
No.
You have more?
We got a little bit of time here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we got something else.
Yeah, Willie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Willie.
Anything changed for you since yesterday?
No, I think he still picks his spots a little bit.
Mhm.
And you can sit there and blame 5 forwards on the shorthanded goal, but that had nothing to do with the fact that I think he should have played it a lot harder.
Mhm.
And he's still got a long way to go to get to the place where he needs to get and the team needs him to get.
For sure. There's no doubt. I will say I really like their power play like that. I think that's the best version of their power play. You want Marner to have more touches, right?
Yes.
You think the puck
Yeah.
should be in his hand, and he is when he
Yeah.
quarterbacks the 5 forwards.
Yeah.
I like Matthews more on his offside because he doesn't hit the one-timer for goals anyway. He can catch and release better than anyone in the NHL, I think.
Yeah.
Probably the best in the league. And I think he sees the ice better kind of facing it.
Yeah.
And Willie's fine on the other flank. He, whatever.
Yeah.
I just like it more.
Though I hate that I agree because it, like I've said a million times, it offends my hockey sensibilities.
Yeah.
But it is the best.
With what
way
they
to do
got,
it. Yeah. I don't know what else you would.
And I also want to throw up the, other power plays get scored on too. Even when you have a D-man out there, you give up a shorty, it happens.
Especially Jordan Staal, the 74th highest shorthanded scorer of all time.
Yes, 74th high.
It just
Great.
Tied with
it needs
Peugeot.
it needs a lot of work. It just needs a lot of work. The power play.
It does. There's
There's just There's nothing desperate about the push to score a goal on it.
I wish analytics gave us time on stick for players. Like
Kris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin to Los Angeles Kings, possible deal with Toronto Maple Leafs. In an interesting twist in the NHL trade market, new rumors are emerging about Kris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin potentially being traded to the Los Angeles Kings. Sources indicate that the Kings, who have been one of the most active teams in recent weeks, are evaluating the possibility of bolstering their defense with Beauchemin, while Versteeg, who brings strong offensive capabilities, could be a key piece in a larger trade. This move becomes even more intriguing considering the Kings' surplus of offensive pieces available for trade, exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for to strengthen their roster. It's speculated that with Versteeg included in the deal, the Leafs could be targeting a possible addition like Wayne Simmonds, along with a mid-range draft pick. This move makes sense given Simmonds' struggles this season, as he has yet to find his top form on the ice. To add more drama to the trade talk, there are even whispers that veteran defenseman Tomas Kaberle could be included, opening the door for a potential pursuit of Brayden Schenn. If completed, this move could have a significant impact on reshaping the Leafs lines and adding more depth to the team. Stay tuned for updates to see if these trades come to fruition and how they might shape the future of Toronto and Los Angeles this season. In an interesting twist in the NHL trade market, new rumors are emerging about Kris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin potentially being traded to the Los Angeles Kings. Sources indicate that the Kings, who have been one of the most active teams in recent weeks, are evaluating the possibility of bolstering their defense with Beauchemin, while Versteeg, who brings strong offensive capabilities, could be a key piece in a larger trade. This move becomes even more intriguing considering the Kings' surplus of offensive pieces available for trade, exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for to strengthen their roster. It's speculated that with Versteeg included in the deal, the Leafs could be targeting a possible addition like Wayne Simmonds, along with a mid-range draft pick. This move makes sense given Simmonds' struggles this season, as he has yet to find his top form on the ice. To add more drama to the trade talk, there are even whispers that veteran defenseman Tomas Kaberle could be included, opening the door for a potential pursuit of Brayden Schenn. If completed, this move could have a significant impact on reshaping the Leafs lines and adding more depth to the team. The Kings' situation is complex, as they are in the midst of a transitional period. Their aging roster, which includes a core group that led them to several successful playoff campaigns in the past, has seen some struggles in recent seasons. While there's a clear need for defensive help, Los Angeles may also want to improve their offensive consistency in order to make a deep playoff push. The combination of Beauchemin's defensive reliability and Versteeg's offensive upside could help the Kings balance their lineup. From the Leafs' perspective, this potential deal is about retooling for the future. The team is in a position to compete, but they also need to solidify certain areas on the ice. Adding a player like Wayne Simmonds could provide the grit and scoring touch that the team has been missing. Furthermore, acquiring a mid-range draft pick could help with future team-building efforts, as Toronto looks to remain competitive while still developing young talent. The inclusion of Kaberle in the trade package could be a strategic move for both teams. The veteran defenseman, who has been with the Leafs for a long time, has seen his role diminished in recent seasons. However, his experience and offensive abilities could be a valuable asset for Los Angeles, who could use a steady presence on the blue line to help their younger players develop. The talk surrounding Brayden Schenn's potential involvement in the deal adds an intriguing layer to the negotiations. Schenn, a versatile forward, has shown flashes of brilliance but has been inconsistent at times. If the Leafs are able to land him, it could be a great opportunity for both the player and the team to find success together. Schenn's physicality, two-way game, and leadership could be exactly what the Leafs need to bolster their forward group. While the trade market can be volatile and unpredictable, these rumors suggest that both the Kings and Leafs are preparing for significant changes. For Toronto, this could mark the beginning of a new era, with a focus on adding more experience and depth. For Los Angeles, the trade could be a chance to retool and address some of the weaknesses in their lineup, while still competing for a playoff spot this season. Of course, as with any trade rumors, it's important to remember that these discussions are fluid and can evolve quickly. There are many moving parts in these types of negotiations, and both teams will likely have to weigh their options carefully before making any final decisions. It's also possible that other teams could enter the fray, further complicating the situation. In the coming days, fans of both teams will be watching closely to see if any concrete moves are made. The NHL trade deadline is fast approaching, and teams are scrambling to position themselves for a successful postseason. Whether this rumored deal materializes or not, the possibility of a major trade between the Leafs and Kings will certainly keep fans on edge as the season continues to unfold. The trade talks involving Versteeg, Boschman, and potentially Simmons or Shen highlight the delicate balance that NHL teams must strike between immediate success and long-term growth. Both the Leafs and Kings are trying to find that balance, and this rumored